It's Friday Flakes! Friday Flakes, brought to you by the makers of BrandFlakesForBreakfast, the grandest blog in all of the lands. Hey everybody, I'm Darryl. Welcome to Friday Flakes on Friday, March 6th.
I'm Chris.
And I'm RJ. And actually, isn't today Thursday?
Yeah, we're cheating a little bit.
Tiny bit.
We've got some logistical things, and we couldn't actually tape Friday Flakes on Friday. So we've traveled into the future! Future! Dave and I, as you are watching this, are driving to Boston to meet with a client. And what are you guys doing?
We're stuck in the office working while you guys are going.
I'm over at my computer.
Okay, so this was taped yesterday, and we've transported it into the future.
Yes, so how was your week at Plaid?
Awesome, because we're talking about the Plaid Tour.
Yeah, Plaid Tour.
Plaid Tour, you can find out more at plaidnation.com, which is still last year's site. We're about to launch a new Plaid Nation, I think, starting next week. Yeah. And the cool thing is that we've determined a route. Right?
Exactly, Detroit to New Orleans and a lot of really cool cities in between. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can you name any of those cities? Do you know the route?
I could, but I don't know if I could do them all in once. So I mean,
all right.
There's a bunch.
A bunch of really cool places between Detroit and New Orleans.
Right? Definitely.
So we'll be launching the Plaid Nation blog, I think, next week, and start sharing what's going on with the tour.
Exactly.
Cool.
I'm excited because that's the first snippet of plaidness that I ever saw before I started here, so it's always a good...
the other thing that I'm stoked about is a couple of us are going to South by Southwest next week.
A couple of us, as in not Chris and I.
Yeah.
It's going to be Darryl and David, and they're going to be hijacking the Friday Flakes set down to Austin to South by Southwest.
So yeah, next week we'll be broadcasting from South by Southwest.
It'll be the Dave and Darryl show next week.
If you're going, hook up with us. Lots of Lone Star beer to be drinking to get drunk, and all that stuff, and lots of hooting and hollering because that's what we do in Texas.
And we'll be here in cold Danbury. So
yeah,
awesome.
So all right, let's go to this week at BrandFlakes for breakfast. All right, couple of neat posts this week. One depressing one.
Yeah, unfortunately, one was a sad one. It was about the closing of the Rocky Mountain News, which you see a lot of the newspapers struggling. You see some closing, some online subscriptions, stuff like that. But this was an actual video of people working at the newspaper shutting down, people in the community talking about how important the paper is. It was a sad post.
I just thought it was interesting because it became a viral thing on the internet, and it's dealing with the print media. So.
Like that print was killed by the internet, and seeing it die became viral.
First-hand account of death, yeah.
I think it's interesting because nobody knows the answer, and that's really sad. Everybody wants their paper to survive, but if you think about it, most people want their paper for nostalgic reasons, not because they don't subscribe to it, they don't read it as much or anymore at all, and they won't pay for it online. They'll read it online, but they won't pay for it. So what's the answer? What's the answer?
Figure it out for us, and then send a message.
That's right.
Don't tell us. Tell your paper.
But by next week, okay?
So a more upbeat post was about Facebook Forgotten. Some more Facebook talk.
This was a funny presentation. This dude did a presentation about your lifespan, your social sphere, your whatever on Facebook. And I'm older than you guys, so I think I can speak with authority that your life changes and you go through different stages in your life. Right? And I know that I wouldn't want to be judged by who I was in high school. And what this dude was saying was maybe it's time to give up some of those relationships, and maybe it's best that you've moved on, and you don't want some of those people back into your life.
Exactly. I'd actually disagree a little bit. Maybe it's because I've had less time to move on. But I actually really like when some of the old... not to be so... I really like when some of the old pictures and old stuff of who I used to be goes up. It's a funny reminder, and I like having other people see a little glimpse of who I used to be. So I think it's a lot of fun.
I agree with Darryl. I'm a notorious untagger because I don't like not having control.
Who you are.
I do like having control of what's being put out there. Not that I feel I have that much to hide. It's just kind of like... if I'm out drinking at a bar, I don't really feel that's always the best thing to be associated with.
I don't think I've ever untagged myself.
Oh, I did.
And now I'm going to probably get myself in trouble. Somebody's going to upload something really embarrassing.
See, I have a personal rule not to detag myself, no matter what.
I like to think I have that rule, but I'm afraid of what might be out there.
That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So let's go to the world of social media.
Let's talk about some delicious candy.
There was one huge, sweet, delicious big deal in social media this week.
This new Skittles site launched this week on Monday, which actually caused a lot of people blowing up on Twitter talking about it.
Lots of chitter chatter about Skittles, and I think there's a couple of issues. One is the controversy of the concept, in that Modernista, another agency in our business, launched a site which is pretty much what the Skittles site is, and they launched that a year ago. Like, it's super innovative concept, kind of like whoa, took the whole industry by like wow. And agency.com pretty much copied the Modernista model for Skittles. So that's the first controversy. And then the other is that the Skittles site allows the public to participate. Social media. Which means that I could tweet, I just put Skittles in my butt. And it would show up on their site.
That's right.
Not that I did that.
Yeah, he really did.
It wasn't him, I promise.
So what do you guys think of that? Of either of those things?
I just think it was cool just because, I mean, I haven't given Skittles or any candy websites a try, so it was at least something to make you want to check it out and at least notice that all your friends were talking about it, and it was just enough of that hook for me to actually check it out.
Definitely, I kind of agree with that. I thought it was really cool. I never saw the Modernista site. I went on the Skittles site, thought it was really cool. I'm very rarely on brand sites or candy sites in the first place, so.
A lot of people made that point.
Exactly. So, I mean, I thought it was really cool, and I didn't see the big hoopla in it, but I was kind of thinking, what do you think Modernista should feel about it?
I think they should be flattered, maybe.
Yeah, except that no one's talking about Modernista. We're talking about Skittles right now. So.
Although there was some chatter about Modernista too. They definitely got the props for inventing the idea. But I think agency.com should acknowledge the influence, and that would make it a little bit
Maybe
cooler.
they weren't expecting it to be like so big, and they're like, oh shit.
Right. I had an interesting experience. I had two clients in one day yesterday on two separate conference calls mention, oh, we don't want a Skittles situation. And I was surprised by that, because I see this as a massive success. So this has gotten over 1% of all tweets on Monday when it launched, and still people are still tweeting about it, chatting about it, blogging about it, and posting it on Facebook. They've got hundreds of thousands of new Facebook fans. I see nothing but massive success.
Cool.
So yeah, maybe somebody tweeted some funny stuff that showed up on the page, but that's over. It's gone. It's like done.
So for some reason, Skittles maybe ripped off the Plaid site. If they had bobblehead Skittles, something like that, you'd look at it as you'd be flattered.
You want to look
Yeah.
at some Skittles variety.
Yeah,
Don't touch our baubles.
that's right.
So, all right, what else was big in the world of social media? Facebook.
New Facebook, another new Facebook, right?
Yeah, I know. They just came out with the other one a couple months back, or I don't know. I've lost track of time.
Chris, this is internet time. A couple of months is ages ago. Chris is living in the dark ages.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the new
January.
Facebook, the basic new thing is they're going to have a Twitter-esque stream on there, and is it cool?
I don't know. I'm kind of stoked to see it, kind of play with it. I think one of my Twitter friends put it best. A new Facebook is coming out. People are going to be stoked. People are going to be outraged, and we'll move on.
Probably.
Pretty much.
All right, let's move on to our tip of the week. The week. We don't have an infographic for that yet.
That's right.
This tip was actually a request of a client, Eric Smith at Westport Playhouse. So Eric, this is all for you. RSS, what is it, he says. I see it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. How could I better use it? So you've seen this logo. Go to the infographic. And you see it everywhere. There are RSS feeds of everything, of course, blogs, of news, of sites. You can get an RSS of your calendar. If you're a client of ours, you can get an RSS feed of all of your projects and what's happening with your projects. So how do you use an RSS? Best thing, RSS reader. And the easiest one to use is a Google reader, I think.
Yeah.
So, is that what you guys use?
Yep.
Okay. So just go to Google, type Google RSS reader. It'll bring you right to the Google RSS reader, and you can start setting it up. It's Google. It's friendly. It'll be easy. And I read hundreds of blogs every day, and I can do that because I have them all on my reader. And the reader will tell me which blogs have new posts, and I can read them without having to go to those sites, and I can read it like you're reading it right from an interface. Whereas if I were to go to and visit each of those blogs individually, that would take hours, days, weeks. It wouldn't be possible. So you're able to consume more information faster.
Yeah, I've seen your RSS feed. That would take a long time for me to do that.
It
That's
takes
an
a long
insane
time through
feed.
RSS even.
Exactly.
You can actually also have RSS delivered to your email. However you want it, you can get it. So it's information fed to you from whatever sources you'd like and almost any format that you'd like. So check it out, Google RSS, and we'll get you started. I think that brings us to a
I
close.
think that
That's
does
right.
it.
All right, so that's another week for Friday Flakes. I'm Darryl.
I'm Chris.
And I'm RJ, and next week will be Dave and Darryl at South by Southwest.
Woo! Texas!